There are times when we feel like we don't know what we're made for. There are times when we feel sad. There are times when we're feeling and experiencing that sense of wonder. Did you know it was wonder? It's an opportunity for us to wonder about why we're here. Wonder about what is my next step. And I love the song that we sang, I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. You're beautiful, magical. I don't know the rest of the words. Be capable of being the best me I can. And that is your purpose. So often we think that our purpose is in the doing. So often we think that our purpose is being the best, product manager that I can in my previous life. Being the best IT manager as I could be in my previous life. But I discovered that none of those things really matter as long as I'm showing up the best way that I can. And that's really what this experience is all about, of letting go, of letting them. And then let me be the best that I can. The fact is, you are wasting your energy. Did you realize that? You are wasting your life. Whenever we think that I need someone else to do something, my bidding, believe what I believe, that they should be doing something different, I'm putting all of my creative experience into that. Whenever I am afraid of what other people think, OPO, other people's opinions, whenever I'm putting my fear and my energy into that, I am wasting my energy rather than putting my energy into who I am. And the beautiful experience of the songs and the daily word of recognizing you are holy. You are whole spiritually. You are well. You are welcome. You are worthy. That's who you are. We have to take off these coats of thinking that we're something else, all the personas that we put on, and allow ourselves to be that. Now, what happens when we waste our energy? What happens when we get frustrated about what other people are doing? We get mad, we get tired. All of our energy is spent in creating the wonderful stories in our lives, yes? We are super creative. You are so powerful in your life. You don't even realize it. You are a creative being. And the problem is we're putting all of our creative energy into the story of what other people are doing, into the story of what's wrong with my life, into the story of I don't know what I'm doing. Those fears that come up within us are the warning signs that we have a story running in the background that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, just the way I am. Just the way I am. We are creative beings, and one of the best spiritual practices that I know, it's one in unity that we call non-resistance. And it's a hard one. When you hear the word, because we give so much power to words. If you ask somebody what does non-resistance means, you'll get probably 100 different definitions. Spiritually, non-resistance is simply allowing what is to be. We're not at odds with the isness of life. We're just allowing it to be. This is what the situation is. Now, our stories give it the color, give the detail, and give us our suffering. Yay! We're in charge of all of that. And it's our stories that create that sense of resistance within us. And I want to make sure you understand this is a spiritual non-resistance. This is simply being at peace with what is. Non-resistance is simply recognizing what is and not pushing it away, not pretending it doesn't exist, and not allowing that to disturb my own peace, to disturb my own sense of well-being, my sense of worthiness, my sense of spiritual strength. For all of that comes from within, comes from my connection with the allness of life. You might call it God or isness or the universe or my better self, whatever you want to call it. It's that connection with who I truly am, that essence within me. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote, "That which offers no resistance overcomes the hardest substances." That which offers no resistance overcomes the hardest situations in your life. And it's not by ignoring it. It's simply letting it. In this wonderful book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, there's a two-part process. Let them and let me. Now for me, let them has become the circuit breaker. It has become the point in my life, a very easy phrase for me to say, oh, let them. And it's not a let them that comes along with anger or resentment or detachment. It's not an anger that, or a let them that pushes them away or pushes me away. It's simply non-resistance. It's simply, okay, this is what is. And this isn't even the truth of who they are. We all have those people in our lives, those that are throwing the tomatoes at us, yes? Anybody have any tomatoes thrown at you in the last few weeks? Yes, we've had tomatoes thrown at, not literal tomatoes, I hope. But there are things that come our way, other people's opinions. Sometimes they're literal tomatoes. And let them breaks the circuit of poor me, or they shouldn't have done that, or they need to do something differently. Let them means let them do what they are doing. It's not even be who they're being, but let them do what they are doing. For what they are doing is simply a reaction to what's inside of them. Let them is a circuit breaker that allows me to be curious. And curiosity is what sets me free and allows my creativity to flow again. Let me be curious about what's happening within me. Let them, and then what's happening within me? I'm wondering. Where's this sense of fear, anger, frustration coming from? Where's this resentment coming from? Behind all of that story, there is a belief within us, a myth, that I'm not worthy. And here's an example of it. Somebody's giving me a great example of I'm not worthy. And yet we project that feeling out to someone else. Let them allows us to be curious. I wonder what's really going on with them. Curiosity. If I can listen and hear what they're saying intentionally, listen for understanding. If I can listen for understanding, then I might have a deeper knowing of what's happening in them. And it won't hurt me as much. When I let them and realize this is really about them, I have no idea what's going on in their life. They could have had a really bad morning. They could be hangry. They could have a situation. Something's going on in their life, and it's just clouding their sense of, let me be worthy. And when you come at it from that standpoint, doesn't it give you a whole different perspective? Curiosity is a wonderful way to dip into that experience of discovering who you really are. There's a wonderful quote in the book where Mel says in chapter 1, she says, the let them theory is about freedom. Two simple words, let them, will free you from the burden of trying to manage other people. When you stop obsessing over what other people think, say, or do, you finally have the energy to focus on your own life. You stop reacting and you start living. You stop reacting to what's happening and telling the stories, getting drawn into that storm within you, and you start living from that place of peace within you that is ever present. The truth is, other people hold no real power over you unless you give it to them. And I'll even say, you're not even giving it to them. But it seems like that. You're giving it over to your story. You are losing your energy. You are creating that suffering within you simply by resisting what is. In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 38, the master teacher Jesus, this is in the Sermon on the Mount, he said, "You have heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth." Anybody heard that phrase? Yeah. Anybody live by that phrase? Well, you don't have to raise your hands. But occasionally we do, don't we? Occasionally, well, they did this, therefore I'm not going to invite them, I'm not going to speak to them, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tell all my friends. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If somebody slaps you on the right cheek, turn them the other cheek. Now that sucks. If you take it literally. Because Jesus isn't saying be a doormat. The book isn't saying be a doormat and give up all of your ideas and all of your sense of well-being. He's saying it's just let them. And when he says turn the other cheek, it's turning your consciousness from being a victim, from being resentful, from being angry, turning your consciousness back to God, back to that divine essence within you, back to that light, that love, that wisdom, that is who you are and who you've come here to be. When we get hooked by what they're doing out there, we lose that perspective. We now become at the mercy of this idea and this story that they're telling. Let them. It's okay, let them. You will be safe. You are still whole. And that brings us to the second part of the practice, and that is let me. Let me be the one to bring the peace. Let me be the one to be a professional. Let me be the one to be understanding, to be present. Let me be the one to hold my own boundaries and say, no, that's not okay. Let me be the one to be present to that, what we call this divine energy that flows through you. You may just call it your better self. Let me be my better self in this moment, in this situation. And how would I want my better self to react, to respond? When I want my better self to throw tomatoes back at them. Yeah, you bet I would, sometimes. But the let them and let me theory disconnects me from picking up the tomato. It gives me that pause, that sacred pause that says, wait a minute, just let them. And let me be who I've come here to be. Because everything that they're doing out there isn't really about me. And when I recognize that, I can stand in my truth and my presence, even if it's directed squarely at me. Even if it's like, John, you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There's a perspective. Not everyone has that perspective. And so it's really not about me. It's about their perspective. Yes? When I have that idea of I'm hooked and I'm trying to disconnect from that hook, I go, Mel has this wonderful practice called 5-4-3-2-1. Anybody hear of it? The 5-4-3-2-1 practice. This is the first, I did a talk on this maybe a year and a half ago. 5-4-3-2-1, go. It's when you're stuck. It's when you feel unmotivated. You need to give yourself a countdown and then blast off. You need to go 5-4-3-2-1 and go. And just do it. Well, this practice that I use and that my wife and I were talking about this morning is the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a stack ranking of what's really important to me. What do I rank as most important to me? What are my dreams? What are my goals? How do I want to be? How do I want to experience life? How do I want to show up? What energy do I want to create in this relationship? What experience do I want to have in this relationship? And then I have the ability, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, to do that. That's let me. Let me know what my goals and dreams are and allow those to put those into place. OPO, other people's opinions, means when I'm feeling that, I need more confidence. I need to experience more worthiness. When I'm worrying about what someone else is thinking about, I can get curious again. What is it that I need in this moment that I can draw upon from my inner self, from my higher self, from spirit, from source? What can I draw upon that will allow me to be present in this moment and not be diminished by whatever is happening in our life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are the things that are most important to me. Here are my goals. Here are my dreams. Here are my values. Here's how I want to show up in life. Here's how I want to experience life. There was an article I was reading about a woman who was practicing the let them theory. Well, my boyfriend wants to go out with his friends, so I let him. My boyfriend wants to do this, so I let him. And I'm feeling more and more sad. I'm feeling more lonely. I'm feeling more disconnected. Why? Because she isn't doing the second part. Let me stand in my truth and my power. Let me stand in what's important to me. Let me go out with my friends. Let me find out what's important to me and move in that direction also. Let me have a conversation so we can talk about what works and what doesn't work. Let me be the adult. So our spiritual practice is let them, let it be. Just let it be. And let me sink into my values. Let me draw upon those values of love and faith and wisdom and trust. And let me be that in this moment. Let me be the one to be present to it. Someone asked me this week, why are we studying the let them theory? Because it sounds more like psychology. What about spirituality? So in my mind, psychology, I could be wrong, psychology is the study of the human mind and the human emotions and how we react and do things in life. Yes? Yes. Spirituality is aligning our mind with spirit. Spirituality is aligning our mind and allowing our emotions to be present to that presence within. And this has been true of unity for the ages. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore talked about this as the law of mind action. How do I align my thoughts, my words, and my actions with that one presence and one power so that I can be me? So I can let me be that every day. So to me, there is no difference. Spirituality is aligning ourselves with that greater power, whatever you might want to call it. Divine mind, isness, infinite love, divine intelligence, so that I can move through life centered as a spiritual being in everything I do. That's why the daily practice is so important. It helps us build self-awareness. Let them and let me builds emotional intelligence. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling angry. Those are all okay. It's okay to feel those things. Did you know that? Yes, give yourself permission. I can feel everything. Feel it and let it. Just don't feed it with your stories. Just don't feed it with your myths and beliefs that I'm not worthy or they're not good enough or they should. Don't feed that emotion. Because if you don't feed it, you'll feel it, it'll pass through you, and you'll feel the freedom. Let them, let me helps me build spiritual intelligence. My understanding of who I am and how I've come here to be in this moment. And it improves my well-being. It helps me say, I'm okay. Even when I did something, made a mistake, did something wrong, someone's yelling at me, I'm still okay. I'm still a spiritual being. I'm still whole. I'm still worthy. I'm still welcome. And I'm going to bring that presence into whatever experience I have. I was at the dance studio where my daughter dances, and I was hearing two girls talk about stuff. And they were talking about how one girl was saying, I don't know what to do. I don't want to say no because then they won't like me, but I don't want to do it. It's not really what I want to do. It's not how I want to be. They're talking about other people. I don't want to do that. And the other kids are like, it's okay. You don't have to. Just hold your boundaries. Well, if I say no and hold my boundaries, they're going to be mad at me. Well, if you say it nicely, they won't. Right? You can hold your boundaries and be very angry and mean about it. You can say your boundaries in a positive way, in a friendly way. And if they're still mad at you, well, are they really friends at that point anyway? Now, this is a 16 or 17-year-old girl. If they can do it, we can do it. Yeah, I know as we get older, we think we know everything. But sometimes we need to just let go and listen for the wisdom. Hold a safe and sacred boundary, a sense of who I am, what's mine to own, and who I'm not, and what's not mine to own or pick up. and what's mine to gently put down. I am whole, worthy, and welcome. I am in the flow of love. Would you affirm that with me together? I am whole, worthy, and welcome. I am in the flow of love. That divine love, that energy that flows through us, that harmonizing, healing, prospering energy is your life force. Stop wasting it on these stories. Stop wasting it on the little things in life that are hooking you. And start expressing it in ways that are beautiful and magical, and be the best you can be.